Payton Explains the rules of squash.
Squash is a racket sport, which is played either 1-on-1, which is known as singles, or 2-on-2, which is known as doubles. The object of the game is to score more points than your opponent, and this can be done in a number of ways. The game is played indoors on either a glass or concrete court, with these measurements for singles and slightly longer for doubles. This is the bottom line, more commonly referred to as the tin, and the ball must be hit above it at all times. If the ball hits the tin, the striker loses the point. Same thing goes for the lines of the court. These indicate the playing area, and any ball hit outside these is deemed out, and the striker also loses the point. Players use different types of rackets and balls depending on their grade and playing ability. A game of squash starts with a player serving the ball. For a serve to be legal, a player must have at least 1 foot in the service box, and the ball must be hit between the service line and the outline. The ball must also travel to the opposite corner to be legal. In a game of squash, you must play the ball by hitting it onto the front wall. The ball may touch any of the other walls, but you may only let it bounce on the floor once. If the ball bounces twice before you manage to hit it, you lose the point. The two main ways of scoring points in squash are as follows. 1. You hit a shot too good, which is difficult or near impossible for your opponent to return, or you squeeze a mistake out of your opponent, meaning that they hit the tin or hit it out of court, and therefore you win the point. Due to the nature of the game, players often find themselves getting in each other's way. This is when the let rule is introduced. The let rule is as follows. If you are attempting to get out of the way of the ball, but couldn't, this is known as a let, and the point is replayed. However, if you make no effort to get out of the way and allow your opponent to play the ball, they are given the point, and this is known as a stroke. The basic strategy of squash is to try and dominate the tee area, as this allows you to cover the entire court in the least amount of effort. In squash, there is a huge variety of shots that can be played, but for a beginner, I feel there are 4 main ones that are good to understand. The first shot is known as a drive. A drive is just a shot that is hit off the floor straight down the wall, either on the forehand side or backhand side, with the target being just behind the service box, and with the players hoping for it to die in the back, meaning that the opponent can't hit it back. The second shot is called a volley. A volley is a shot similar to a drive, however the ball is hit in the air as opposed to off the floor. The target for this shot is the same as the drive. Next up is the drop shot, which is the most common attacking shot in squash. A drop shot is a shot played gently into the front court, which is designed to die close to the front wall. This is a shot that can be played off the floor as a regular drop or from in the air as a volley drop. Both drops have the same target. Finally, we have the cross court. This is a shot where the ball is hit from one side of the court to another, and it can be done off the floor or in the air as a volley cross court. This shot is designed to move your opponent to different areas of the court, and the target is the same as the drive. Utilizing these shots, and many more, players take turns hitting the ball back and forward between one another until someone wins the point. This is known as a rally. Once you win the point, you get the next serve, and the process starts over again. A game is won when a player scores either 11 or 15 points, depending on his or her grade. Also, you must be 2 clear points away from your opponent to win the game. If the score is equal, at 10-10 or 14-14, the game will continue until one player is 2 clear points ahead. A game is usually played best of 5 games, so whichever player wins 3 games first is the winner. However, on some occasions, a game is played best of 3, so first player to win 2 is the winner. These are the basic rules of squash, but there are a few other things you'll need to understand before playing or watching squash. A rally scoring. This is the revised version of scoring that is the most common scoring system and is used on the current professional circuit. It basically means that if you win the rally, you win the point and get the next serve. English scoring. This is the old way of scoring. However, some clubs and tournaments still use this scoring system. It is when you can only win the point if you have served the ball. If you didn't serve but won the point, you only win the right to serve. These games were much longer. However, they were only played to 9 points. The handout rule. Once you win the point, you get the next serve. If you just served, you must serve from the opposite box upon which you just served from. The handout rule. In a game of squash, if you win the point but didn't just serve, you are given what's called a handout. This means you can choose which side you wish to serve from.
Congratulations, you now confidently understand the rules of squash. Stay tuned for more videos and tips to improve your squash game, and we'll see you on the squash court. Let's go.